Hi everyone and welcome to another marvelous video. So far, The Boys running on Amazon Prime has been doing exceptionally well. Along with its spin-off Gen V, the series has not been completely loyal to its source, but it has maintained a good amount of suspense before every episode and season. One of the main aspects of The Boys is the Seven, the team of the most popular and powerful superheroes managed by Vought America, and Deep is one of its members. He is the parody of a conventional superhero representing the oceans, something that we're familiar with from both the DC and Marvel universes. The Deep has been the most disrespected member of the Seven and is often humiliated by his peers and even the boys. It is interesting to understand the physiology of Deep, and today's video is all about that. So without any further delay, let us begin. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. How did Deep become a suit? When it comes to The Deep, the live-action TV series has times more detailing than that of the comics. The character played by Chase Crawford offered so much more in the series than its comic book counterpart. On the contrary, Deep from the Boys comics was more like a futile member of the Seven with a typical character design of a superhero representing the oceans. The issue started with Deep being in the Seven, and there was not much discussion about how he got into it or any of his backstories. Although most of the superheroes had the same origin story for the source of their powers, Compound V, Amazon Prime still gave a short backstory for Deep in their series. His real name was Kevin Moskowitz, and he was born in the mid-80s. After being experimented on by Vought with Compound V, Kevin acquired superpowers, out of which his aquatic telepathy developed at the age of 9. Kevin began hearing thoughts of every aquatic animal he encountered. Be it at a pet store, beach, aquarium, or market, the voices of marine life traumatized him. At first, he believed he was going insane until his mother deluded him into believing it was a gift. As time passed, his body began mutating and even developing gills. Kevin was a graduate of Godolphin University, holding the 6th rank overall. Despite being insecure about his body and mutation, Kevin took the alias Deep and began his superhero career. He eventually became one of America's greatest superheroes and was known as one of the founding members of the Seven. However, his insecurities persisted and eventually began growing to the point where he started humiliating and sexually assaulting most women he encountered. Over the years, Deep was looked down upon by most of his team members, except Lamplighter. Deep's costume and appearance were also quite different for those in the comics. He was a 6-foot-tall black man with a bulky helmet and was considered one of the most mature members of the Seven. How long can Deep survive underwater? Being a superhero representing the oceans, it can be deduced that Deep's strength and advantages should be boosted underwater. In the comics, there's not much of Deep harnessing his aquatic powers, but the TV series has shown a bit more. In Season 1, when Billy, Huey, and Frenchie had kidnapped Translucent, the entire Seven were tasked with finding out where their member was. It was Deep who searched the oceans and brought back the pieces of his fellow members assembled in a box coated with zinc. That is enough to speak for the soup's ability to withstand long hours underwater. Deep's visit to the Mariana Trench also highlights his ability to breathe underwater and withstand a pressure of at least 8 tons per square, which is that of the water body at the Marianas Trench depth. This raises the question of whether his physiology can actually help him comfortably survive at such high depths underwater. How Deep breathes underwater. It has been shown both in the comics and the Amazon series that Deep has developed a pair of gills just below his diaphragm. It was the outcome of Compound V that he was subjected to during his birth. Deep's gills are the reason why he could breathe underwater for long hours without any support. The gills are an essential part of Deep's physiology, and there were times both in comics and the series when they became the source of all his insecurities. Gills in fish contain thousands of blood vessels which help extract oxygen from water. The same should be happening for Deep, and his ability to stay underwater is enhanced by them. While being underwater, the water Deep takes in is passed through his gills, which extracts the dissolved oxygen from it and returns the dissolved carbon dioxide back to the water. Deep's gills are also one of his most sensitive organs. It can be stated as one of his crucial weaknesses as well. Amazon Prime's run on The Boys showcased that even fingers inserted in Deep's gills can cause him immense pain. He was sexually assaulted by a woman who fingered his gills for her amusement while inflicting excruciating pain on Deep. It seemed like his fellow supes in the Seven were also aware of it. At one point, a train struck him near his gill area, which again caused a significant amount of pain. Deep's durability underwater. Staying underwater is not always solved with just the ability to breathe, but also withstanding water pressure. When it comes to fluids, the pressure they exert on any object submerged in them is from all sides, not just from the top. In water bodies, as we go deeper, the pressure increases at a rate of 14.27 pounds per square inch with every 10 meters of descent. An average fit human being can withstand a pressure of 1,469.5 pounds per square inch of pressure, which, if calculated, can probably allow the diver to descend 1,000 meters on average and not more without help. There are different sets of parameters, of course, that help understand the capability of humans to tolerate such high pressures underwater, like duration of stay, etc. But we will negate that to make it easier to understand. Keeping all these parameters in mind, Deep does possess unique abilities to reach seabeds or even the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Thus, Deep's skin and body are highly durable in such conditions. In the comics, Deep was shown to be withstanding high-caliber bullets with ease, and once he fell from orbital height, he managed to survive that as well. He could withstand tremendous impact forces, and once, when he was hit by a speeding airliner, the only damage he got was a nosebleed. The airliner was as huge as a Boeing 737, weighing 64 tons, and it was traveling at a speed of 839 kilometers per hour. Science nerds can sit down to calculate the amount of momentum generated by the airliner and also the force when it hits Deep. The ability to stay in water also requires navigation, and we have seen Deep capable of swimming at high speed in water. Deep's super strength is also one of the leading factors that help him stay and navigate underwater. As most of you know, divers require external help to reach seabeds. The pressure at high depths only lets humans reach the seabeds with external help, and since Deep travels to such depths alone, his superhuman strength is highly accountable for it. Can Deep fly? Although Deep has not been shown to be flying in a TV series, in the comics, he could. Before we get into how or when Deep managed to fly, let's talk about the chances of any marine hero accomplishing it. Namor from Marvel had wings to fly, but Aquaman was shown to be gliding through the air, killing parademons and landing safely. Now, both air and water are considered fluids, and the only thing different between the two is the density, which results in contrasting upthrust. An individual able to glide through water and fly is essentially a being whose body can adjust to the buoyancy of different mediums. In the comics, Deep is shown not only to be flying, but also to carry A-Train and Black Worm in the air. The scene is enough to showcase that Deep was more than capable of flying, and we eagerly await to see that in the TV series. What is Deep's sexuality? Cases of sexual harassment and assault were prominent for Deep in the TV series, but it was not the same for him in the comics. The event where Starlight was sexually assaulted by Deep did not happen in the comics at all. In the comics, Starlight was sexually assaulted by Homelander, Black Worm, and A-Train. However, even with that said, Deep's sex crimes were more because of his fragile and insecure mindset. It was a result of the constant urge to prove his might and power, for which he carried out his hideous acts. In the TV series, he was married to a girl named Cassandra, but this was later revealed to be one of the many ways to reform the character's foul image left within the citizens of America after Starlight revealed how he abused her. The argument takes a whole new path after the TV series showcased Deep having sex with an octopus, which he named Ambrosia. During the events of Herogasm, he even asked his wife Cassandra to engage in a threesome, including Ambrosia. Deep could be called zoophilic, and it might be because marine animals were the only ones he could understand well. Does Deep have a weakness for marine animals? One of Deep's unique powers was the ability to physically communicate with all marine fauna. He has a telepathic connection that helps him understand them and also compels their obedience. He made sharks as well as a whale to rally the boys, and he used the help of marine creatures to track translucent's body parts later. They also brought him the GoPro that recorded the wreckage of Flight 37. Deep could somehow enhance marine life forms. The sperm whale he compelled to chase the boys could easily overtake a speedboat, which is kind of odd because sperm whales are slow with a top speed of 7.4 kilometers per hour, and speedboats travel at 66 kilometers per hour at least. The skill set is kind of similar to that of Aquaman, but for Deep it is quite more detailed. His conversations with lobsters and other species of the sea have been quite personal. This was, however, used as a weakness by Homelander when Deep was brought back into the Seven. Knowing Deep's empathy for marine creatures, Homelander set the menu specifically for seafood. Deep was first served with lobsters, and if that wasn't enough, Homelander served a living octopus who was Deep's friend named Timothy. Deep begged Homelander to make him not eat his friend, while Timothy kept begging for his life from Deep, also stating that he has kids. Does Deep wear a helmet throughout the comics? It might be strange to visualize Deep in a helmet, as The Boys TV series had designed his costume to resemble that of DC's Aquaman. However, in the comics, a large helmet was constant with Deep's throughout his run. It had two openings, one for eating and the other for drinking. As stated by Deep, he had to constantly wear the helmet owing to some Atlantean curse. However, there have been no further explanations, and it can be very much a fake story. Marvelous verdict. So we've finally come to the end of this video, and we hope you've liked the content. The Boys TV series has been highly unpredictable, and there can be no speculation as to which character they would be laying their focus on and how. It would be great to watch Deep make something out of his insecurities and undignified place in Vought Industries and the Seven. It would also be great to see how strong Deep is. He does possess superhuman strength, but we're yet to have clarity on how strong he is. With all that said, we will be concluding today's video. Feel free to add your views in the comments section, and stay tuned for the next Marvelous video. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.